Hey, Boaz here with Next Pittsburgh, and we are at Kennywood for probably the most exciting Yinzer backstage pass yet because Kennywood is under construction. They're getting ready to open this year, and we've got Nick Paradise, the Director of Communications, to tell us what's happening.
We're doing a lot. We've got just a few days until the park opens, and there's a lot of work to be done, but it's really exciting because it's been the biggest investment we've done in many years here to spruce up not just one area or one specific ride, but the whole park. So there's a lot to see.
Well, let's go through this tunnel and see what's happening. Okay, so first of all, right around us, there are all these new murals of all these iconic Kennywood like spots. We've got, of course, the double header, the cone. There's Potato Patch over here.
Yeah, so one of the things that was really important was we wanted to increase and improve upon the sense of arrival and excitement that you got right as you, not even walking in here, but the second you pull into the parking lot and make it just feel nicer and more inviting and just generate that sense of excitement. So yeah, the ramp's got all these designs that call back to Kennywood favorites past, present, and still with us. And that's just something that we continue to do throughout the park is this kind of special touches to really capitalize on what's made Kennywood so popular for so long.
And we can hear the construction noises in front of us over here, and there is a lot happening. I'm a little worried because aren't you supposed to be open in like less than a week?
Yes, we are. I will say that every year there is kind of a mad dash to open, and you sit there on Monday morning when you open on Saturday, and the team looks around and says, gosh, man, we got a lot of work to get done, but it always comes and gets, it always comes together. The team here, so many of them have been through so many seasons that they have a grasp of what to do. Now, some of the projects will be ongoing, but, we'll clear all this out. There will be so much to still do, and then, we're not open every day yet, so Monday through Friday we'll continue to be busy and putting the finishing touches on things, and then Saturday, Sunday open up and have plenty for guests to enjoy. So it'll be cool to kind of see things continue to evolve throughout the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah, okay, well, we're wearing construction hats, so I want to get into a construction zone. Like, let's really make this.
Yeah, we'll do it we'll do that as safety allows, right? But we should be able to get a little bit of a sneak peek here. So we're coming up on the Candy Kaleidoscope, the candy store, and this is one of the things that is really going to pop. You can't see it as much right this moment, because they're
worried that giant metal hook is going to knock on.
Sure that they might be headed for what's right behind us, actually, now that I look at it. But windows here, they've replaced the walls and the whole bottom floor, and it's going to be floor-to-ceiling big glass paneling windows that you can see into and just make the space much more open and be able to get in there and get your homemade fudge and other sweet treats. And then inside, one of the things they're going to have is a DIY dipped treat section, so you can dip your own strawberries or pretzels into chocolate and make your own special treats. One of the new attractions to enjoy here.
Cool. Okay, and then I see coming up behind us over here, the old mill, which already got a major rehab about a year ago, now has a new look.
Yeah, the old mill got its rehab to kind of the vintage theme with some fresh twists that people had been clamoring for so long. And so the next step we felt like was to make the exterior of the building and the facade of the ride align with what people would experience inside. So it's got a whole new front face on it that, again, just makes it feel like there's much more cohesion between what's inside and what's outside. Additionally, a lot of new asphalt, which is not one of those things that, is part of the ticket, but it's just a cleaner, brighter, more inviting experience for guests.
We've got Annie behind the camera, and she was saying that her kids, how old are your kids, Annie? 5 and 8. They're sort of bummed that Garfield's Nightmare is gone, which I don't think we thought anyone would say.
No, I was a little surprised. But it just shows. And once something goes, it becomes that much more beloved in the past when we look at it from hindsight. But I think overall, we're really happy to have the old mill back, and people have loved it so far.
That's awesome. Are we allowed to keep walking over here? Are we like in the middle of some paving?
So they are, yeah. They're paving right now, but I think if we go quickly and carefully and not in their way, we should be okay. So we'll just we'll stay on the not paved side yet, so we don't mess up the asphalt at all, and continue on. The windmill's got a fresh coat of paint. We cleared out a lot of old trees and brush growth to get ready to plant some new stuff.
Cowboy Joe hasn't come back from Florida.
Cowboy Joe's still on vacation, but he's got a few days to report, just like a star athlete in training camp. You can see they even painted over the one, so we'll get ready for 2022 there. One of the other neat things is this right here. This is a restroom. It's called the cottage restroom. It's actually Kennywood's oldest restroom. And sometimes it has the old-fashioned look on the outside. It kind of looked like that on the inside too, like it was maybe a century old. So they've been working. They gutted the whole building and are just updating it. It's restroom, so there's not a whole lot to say, but it'll be a newer, brighter, better restroom, because it's one of those things that's just important throughout the day. Obviously, people are going to have to use those places.
I want to see that souvenir shirt that says like Kennywood's oldest restroom. What is it? The cottage.
The cottage restroom, and it was back in the day. It was just called the cottage because it was impolite to even use that term in the early 1900s. But that's always what it's been. But made some updates there, adding some family restrooms on the side, which again wasn't something that you did last time that building was updated. Some 50 or so years ago.
People didn't have families back then.
Whether or not they didn't think about it, right? You had two choices. So we continue on. This is a games building and a gift shop, and you can see these are all new paint jobs. This is fresh paint here and just looks much more brighter. The retail building, totally new look. Some new architecture to kind of blend in with some of the other styles that you find throughout the park, and just feel more, it's just more exciting. I don't know, it makes me want to go in and look around a lot more than what it was in the past.
Yeah, it's very appealing, and this is so you'll be able to go in there and buy, let's say, a cottage, Kennywood's oldest restroom, souvenir magnet, or whatever, baseball cap.
Yeah. Then the next thing, and kind of on this route, is the Jackrabbit. So the ride itself, same, beloved Jackrabbit, nothing crazy happening there. But as you go in, we've got a new archway that you will walk in to get in line. And then they took the side of the arcade building, which was previously a mustard yellow, just nothing to it, just the side of a building. And now it's a gigantic collage mural featuring a lot of photos from the park and throughout the years, favorite rides. And actually, we allowed people to vote on what the themes for it were going to be, with 3 different themes in it, and people chose legendary thrills, classic coasters, and dark rides through the ages. So you see a little bit of all 3 there as you wait in line for the Jackrabbit.
That's awesome. And speaking of voting, also the Kangaroo was sort of a big sort of audience participation project you did too.
Absolutely. That was from really the outset. It wasn't just, that ride was retired, and we certainly heard a lot of outcry that people were very upset about that. They wanted it back, and I will be honest, I had very much sentiments of the same, because it was a big one of my personal favorites. So when we had the opportunity to look at adding a new ride for 2022, we said, well, rather than a brand new ride, what if we looked into making the investment that this ride needed to be able to come back? And so that's what we did after doing some surveying. And then we also allowed people to choose what would be the theme for the ride, because it wasn't just just bring it back as the same and the same look, but again, just like the rest of the park, freshen it up, make it brighter and more exciting. And so people got 2 different themes to choose from.
Do you want it to be kangaroo themed or lizard themed?
Well, always kangaroo, of course, but 2 different styles for the what the cars of the ride would look like, and some of the other a logo for the attraction, things like that. And so people got to vote, and they'll see it come to life here over the coming months. This one will be the Kangaroo. We're looking at opening Memorial Day weekend. May 28th is the official date.
So the cool thing now is that it's invisible, as you can see.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, they're just preparing the spot for it. It'll be in the same spot, but they've got right now the ride operator attendance booth is there. The queue line, the concrete's been poured for the queue line. The fencing isn't up there yet, and they've got the ride envelope prepared. But in May, that's when the ride should appear on site. So people, when they visit in the early stretch of the season, might not be able to ride, but they'll probably see it going and see people training and getting ready for it to open there towards the end of May. The last thing that I want to point out with that is this big wall of structure that's behind it or on close to us. This is going to be a backdrop for the attraction, very similar to what was in place in the 60s when the Kangaroo first opened, and we're going to have big metal kangaroos on it that'll be lit up, and so it'll kind of do jumping lights. It'll have a much more of a theme and really just a much bigger presence in the park, which I think this ride is worthy of. We're real excited for it.
For sure. And since, you said part of the reason this is back is because people were clamoring for it. What would you say is the next ride after that or attraction that people are like, bring back? And before that it was Old Mill, it seemed like. So what is the thing that you're hearing from people these days?
Oh, there's definitely a few that certainly we hear a lot about. I can't, I'll say some. It doesn't mean I don't want people to take any reads, but certainly I know we hear from people. The Logjammer is still very fondly talked about. The Turnpike is one that people talk about, and even the Paratrooper too, which went away a couple years ago. So that doesn't. And there's certainly others. And it might be that the next attraction is something totally brand new that becomes, like those attractions in a few years' time. But whatever we do, it is something we're gonna listen closely to what the public has to say and do surveying and things like that to make sure that whatever additions we make in 2022 and 23 and the years to come,
the next 200 years.
Exactly, whatever it is, as we celebrate 125 seasons of Kennywood beginning this year, that it aligns with what the public and our guests want to see from the park.
Well, it's nice that you listen. So, send in an email, send in a comment, because Kennywood's listening. If you get enough people fighting to bring back Garfield's Nightmare, you never know. They'll be building another one next to it.
I have no comment.
Nick's shaking his head. Okay, well, on that note, I hear maybe we can make some funnel cake.
Yeah, you said you wanted to get an idea of being backstage and what it might be like to work here. So what better way to do that than trying your hand at one of the people's favorite snacks, the funnel cake.
Okay, let's go. All right, we're going into the kitchen at Kennywood with Caitlin. Caitlin, what is your title here?
I'm an area supervisor.
And you're in front of the most important device at Kennywood, the deep fryer.
Yeah. We're going to make a funnel cake today, but first let's start with our PPE. So that's protection equipment, obviously, so that we can wear and we don't get burned. So you'll start with 2 of the regular gloves.
I'm gonna let you hold this mic and explain what's happening, and then I'll do it as you're telling me to do it.
Okay, sounds good. So you're going to start with 2 plastic gloves.
Make sure you can just hear that nice little plasticky sound. Okay, and then I get to put on this like medieval.
So you're going to start with the yellow heat sleeve. So that's just so steam doesn't burn you. And then after that, you're going to put the fry glove on. And that protects in case you get any grease splashes.
Gosh, this is cool. I feel like I'm like a medieval knight or something.
So then when you pour this, you're just going to start in little circles, but you want to kind of go quick because it is at 350 degrees. And just kind of fill it in, make sure it looks full. You wouldn't want half of a funnel cake, would you?
Wow, like how long did it take you to be like this fast at making a funnel cake? I can already just tell you're such a pro.
Well, I've been here for 7 years, so I would say probably 3 or 4 to get it really down. And then when it's golden brown like that, you just take it up, let it drain a little bit, and just put it on your plate, and it's good to go.
That took like 30 seconds. That's nuts.
Yeah, you got to be quick with it or it'll burn. And then you'll just put some funnel cake some powdered sugar on it, and you're good to go.
And you say this is your 7th season at Kennywood, and so you started when you were 14?
Yeah, I did. You can't cook until you're 16, so that's why I said it took me a couple years, but yeah, no, I love it here. It's probably one of my favorite jobs I've ever had.
And what were you doing that first summer as a 14-year-old?
I was working the cash register. We used to have a lemonade bar, like a juice bar is what we called it, so I worked there. Yeah, and I would work on chicken side too, but we don't have that anymore. It's Rita's over there now, so.
Okay, well, I'm going to give this a go. So I take this little, the funnel, I guess, essentially the pitcher funnel, and just sort of start swirling inside this little metal container. Okay. Like, and you're gonna be the one who has to tell me when I've like gone too much. Keep going.
Yep. And then you could probably stop there. You can probably stop there. And then, do you want me to hold this?
Oh yeah, you can hold it.
Okay, and then you'll take that little, it's called a ladle, and you'll just scoop it. You got to get the corner of it. Well, I guess not a corner since it's a circle. But yeah, just flip it, and then, yeah, perfect. You're a pro already.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I did okay.
You did do really well. So then you'll actually hold that in your hand because you'll take this out. And then you'll just let it drain. And then you can put it right.
We got Nick doing some behind the scenes magic.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh my gosh, I made a funnel cake. Is it too hot to taste it now?
I mean, I'd let it cool for a little bit, but you could always have the one that I made if you want to.
Okay, I feel like we got to taste a funnel cake. I'll take one of these gloves off now to be. Let's see how we did here. Oh my gosh, yours was really good. Once mine cools off, I can taste mine and compare and see how good it is. Well,
You want to try some with powdered sugar?
oh yeah. Okay, now let's do the final step here. Gosh, that's a tasty funnel cake. Okay. Fantastic. Caitlin, you're just like an expert chef, and I'm really impressed. Thanks so much.
Thank you. It was fun.